In the heart of Houston, a city of diversity and resilience, a story unfolds, a story of unsung heroes, visionaries, and trailblazers, a story of Latinos rising in the digital age. From doctors saving lives in our hospitals to the artists painting the future and the entrepreneurs building legacies, these voices are leading the way, breaking boundaries and redefining what it means to be Latino in America. Our culture, our stories, our people, each one with a journey that touches the heart and inspires the soul. From the pages of history to the screens of today, VIVA Magazine Live continues its legacy of uplifting the Latino community and telling the stories that need to be heard. VIVA Magazine Live isn't just a show, it's a movement, a celebration of Latino excellence, and a call to action for the next generation to fulfill their hopes and dreams and become an active part of the Latino voice. Join us as we tell the stories that inspire, unite, and elevate. Together we can ensure these voices are heard loud and clear. We invite you to be part of something bigger. Support VIVA Magazine Live and make history with us. Support the vision and invest in our community. Welcome to VIVA Magazine Live. I'm your host, Blanco, and this is the place where we celebrate the movers and shakers and trailblazers of our Latino community. So today we have a very special edition, and we're bringing you the movers and shakers and trailblazers of tomorrow. Today, we're going to ask them what their opinions are of 2025 and futures to come. Welcome back to VIVA Magazine Live, and today we have with us young folks, and they're going to give us their opinion of what they think about our issues going on in our communities today. So guys, just tell me your name, your age, what part of town you are from, and also where are you in the area of education.
My name's Olivia. I'm 18 years old, and I'm graduating my high school diploma. I live in the Jersey Village area, and also have my associates.
Hi, my name is Joelle. I am 20 years old. I attend Texas Tech University. I'm a junior, and I live in the Cypress area of town.
Hi, my name is Xavier. I'm 16 years old. I'm from the Pasadena area, and I'm a junior in high school that's going to graduate my associate's degree.
Hi, I'm Sophia. I'm 22. I live in the near North Side area, and I just graduated college and am currently joining the workforce.
All right. Well, thank all of you for coming. So let's just get right into it. I'd like to know what brought you here today, besides your mother bringing you or whatever. Okay.
What brought me here today really was just to get my voice out there, our voices out there.
Yeah.
You know, young people aren't really taken seriously.
So you just want to be heard.
Yes.
Got it. Thank you very much, Olivia.
I was excited to jump at this opportunity because we're Latinas in America are very
underrepresented.
Yes,
maybe?
underrepresented in the media. So I'm happy to get my voice out there and hopefully help with change as well.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, just like Joel said, you know, we're Latinos, Latinas that, you know, our voice isn't really heard as much as other people.
Right.
And us being a younger generation, I feel like our word needs to be heard.
Well, you're going to get it heard today, for sure. Okay. Yes, Olivia.
Yeah, I also just kind of think that representation, like while we're all here, just kind of give our takes on our journey and like how we feel. So
yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, all of you, for being here today. So we're going to get into the questions, okay? So the other day I heard that education doesn't do much for you these days, and a college education is equivalent to a high school diploma. Who has heard that statement, and what do you think about that?
A college education will help you get networking and finally like really pinpoint what your passion is about rather than just doing it on your own. But if you can do it on your own, that is very encouraging, especially it's a lot less money.
Right. Okay, got it. Yes.
I definitely like agree. I think like college does offer kind of just an experience where you meet people that you kind of relate with and like have similar passions about.
Exactly.
But also I do think it like unlocks a lot of doors.
When I was in high school, I felt that when you got to college, you were playing with the big boys or the big girls. You know, you were just kind of like a little kid right then. You know, when you were little. But you know, the education was very helpful because it allowed me, back then, it allowed me to learn how to type and all the kind of things that got me into positions that I wouldn't have gotten if I didn't know. Back then, it was typing. But I'm not going to tell you what year I graduated from. So, but it really got me somewhere. But then as I got to college, of course, it made a big difference. So having that in mind, what are your concerns with the high cost of living and high interest rates that your parents experience, and the cost of insurance? Because I mean, I guess most of y'all are about driving age, y'all can drive a car. How does that what are your concerns about that?
Yeah, well, I just started driving about a year ago, so I'm very thankful that my parents were able to give me a car.
Yes, thank you.
And yeah, insurance is really
very expensive.
I know, yeah. I mean, I'm coming into this all new, entering adulthood, really.
Right. I was very independent, and I'm sure you ladies, and of course, you know, you guys want to feel that way as well, and just kind of be on your own and want to make it, you know, and not have to struggle.
Going back to what she said about the insurance costs, I just turned 16, so, you know, being able to drive now, you need insurance to drive.
Right, yeah.
And like she said, the prices are crazy. Like, my parents applied for it, and the cost doubled. And, you know, if I want to work, my parents won't always be able to take me to my work, so I need a place I need to be able to drive myself.
I mean, it's like a two-edged sword. You got to drive and to get to work, but you also got to have insurance. And right now, the Houston traffic, you have to have insurance because people are crazy out there. I mean, I hate to say it. So before we go on a break, we're going to go on a quick break for our sponsors. I have a couple of questions. Who here is registered to vote, and who thinks voting matters or doesn't matter? So we'll be right back with those answers. Welcome to Viva Magazine, and we're back. We have some young people here. They're young, fresh minds that are telling us their opinions of what matters today. And I just asked them a question about who has registered to vote and who thinks voting matters.
It's very important to get especially the young generation, to get their voice out, especially with something that governs all of us, our whole country. With the presidential election that just came about, it was a little surprising for some of us. But we got our voices out, and it's important that we continue to do that.
Yeah, like especially I feel like sometimes why young people don't go and vote is because they feel like it doesn't matter. Like, I know personally, being in Texas, you know, it feels like your vote doesn't really see fruition, but I think it's still important to go out there and like try to get your voice heard, because you really don't know until results come out.
That's right. And just want you to know, like in presidential elections, yes, your vote matters, and there's a electoral college that actually, you know, makes quite a bit of that decision. However, in your local level votes, in your local races, your vote matters a lot, because you are voting for the representative that is going to represent you. So you want to make sure that your vote counts in the local, like city council, Harris County, and state representatives and senators in the state, because you want to get those people to help you get your voice out?
This was my first year voting, so this was all really new to me. I personally think voting is very important. I know my generation doesn't really think that way, but I really think it's important that we get our voices out there. And I mean, we are the majority vote.
Yes, every vote counts, even though we all don't see it on the presidential level of voting. However, every vote matters. State races and county races right here in Houston. And so, Xavier, what do you think about high school students voting?
I think every student should vote. You know, if you have the chance, you should partake in, you know, electoral races for the state or for the country.
Here's a question that my colleagues and I and friends, and I'm sure your parents ask ourselves when we were younger, and that was all those years ago, right? Right, parents, I'm sure. Okay, so are the older generations really listening to me? Who would agree that that question is something that all young folks go through? Is anybody listening to me?
No, I think they sometimes are. Sometimes they are listening. I think we should collaborate all of our generations to come up with better solutions.
Do you feel like you've been listened to by the older generations, or it's just their opinion and it's my way or the highway, right?
No, I definitely think that they listen. An older generation does listen, but I just think it's like a matter of perspective. We just have very different perspectives.
Exactly.
But
y'all see things quite different than we do, right? Because we're looking at it from the past, and y'all looking at it from the right now, the future.
But I think it's interesting to have like discussions with people that have different perspectives and try to like get to an understanding. Like, I personally love to pull my mom aside and be like, why do you think like that?
Yeah.
But
that's a good question. What do y'all
try to
think
talk about it. But yeah, it's
that's awesome. Xavier, what do you think about that?
I think they listen to us, and I think, like Sophia was saying, it's different perspective. My parents, you know, they're gonna be more strict on certain things that I don't think they should be so strict on.
And what are they so strict on?
There's certain things like, I don't know, just for example, my money, you know, I get paid.
That is a for sure. Your money.
I get paid, and you know, I tithe to my church, and I give my mom money for me to save for me.
Yes.
And I feel like if I worked for the money, I should be able to buy what I want with it.
But what do you think about crime and the global tensions? And I mean crime in all areas, such as school shootings, violence in school, bullying.
I feel like in the high school aspect, you know, every day you see kids that are, you know, they're less fortunate than most of us, and they might not have the clothes that everybody thinks they should be wearing,
right,
or the shoes that are in style. And to see kids get picked on for those things, you know, I don't think it's right personally.
Yes.
Because I know
Does that happen a lot, or you see it a lot?
I wouldn't say it happens a lot, but I mean, it's occasional to see a kid get picked on for something like that. And I know I would feel bad for them, because I know there's times where, I go to the mall, I see those shoes, but I can't purchase them because I don't have enough money.
What about you, Olivia?
Following what he said, I totally agree with that. I feel like now with social media also having an impact on us, that every kid feels like there's this pressure on them that you have to follow these trends, you have to follow these norms.
Social media, there's a lot of social pressure, isn't there? Because they expect you to dress a certain way, and you have to have so many friends following you and like you, and if you're not followed or liked, you're like, wow, nobody likes me, right? Is that the case?
Yes.
Yeah. Is that a lot of pressure? I mean, for kids, not just you individually, but for kids.
You always feel like the world's against you, and like it's the end of the world. So I really do think that the social pressure, especially now with like technology getting more advanced, you know, AI and everything.
Yes.
I really do think it's more hard.
So what are your thoughts about that?
I think it's important for the younger generation to take social media detoxes. It's something that I've done.
I never heard of that.
Really?
Social media detoxing.
Yeah.
That's a new coined phrase.
I've done it a couple of times this past year.
What does that entail?
It means you're off social media. You don't go on it. You don't post.
For
you
how
don't
long?
see. It could be as long as you would like it. Sometimes I do mine for a couple weeks. I know others who've done it for months or have just given it up all in general.
Really? Wow. I didn't know that. I didn't know that y'all did that. I mean, because I'm on it.
Yeah. I think it's important for us to just detox ourselves from that and go out into the real world, speak to people face to face, and get those real life experiences that we can't always get on social media. Because
social media, there's a lot of isolations because my husband and I go to restaurants and we see families, let's say a family of 2, and they're all around the table on their phones. I mean, they're not even having dinner together or having a conversation.
I'm sorry, but our younger generation shouldn't be having this much screen time. It's not good for their development.
Right.
There's studies on it if you would like to do it. Any research about that?
That's really interesting. What do you think about that, Xavier?
I also believe in that. You know, you can walk around anywhere and really see a kid with a technological device, and you know, anything happen in a split second, they're focused on their iPad, their mom's not paying attention, and next thing you know, they're gone.
They're gone.
Their parents don't know where they went, and the parents are making up excuses saying, like, why is there people coming to take my kid? Well, you weren't watching them.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. What about you, Sophia?
Definitely people should be taking a detox from social media.
Yeah.
I think it can get a bit overwhelming with just how much we have and like how much it's ingrained in our culture almost. And I think that goes back to like the question of if the older generation are listening to us.
Thank you for that. And we touched on it a minute ago about crime and violence and all of that. And how do y'all feel? Because there was terrorist attack. Well, you read the news that there was some guy a terrorist ran a truck into the Louisiana in New Orleans into Bourbon Street, killed several people. Are y'all scared of going out? I mean,
I do go out quite a bit. So, and I go with my friends.
Yeah, you go with your friends.
Before we go out, we always get in a group together, and we always, okay, if anything happens, if anyone pulls out a gun or there's like something commotion, run to the car and we will all meet each other there.
What about you, Joelle?
Lubbock can be a little scary, especially with their high crime rates. So I don't actually go out very much. I'm not one of the party goers. I usually stay inside, but when I do tend to go out to the library or out to eat with some friends, we tend to also come up with a game plan.
Xavier, you have any comments on that?
Me personally, I know I do go out a lot with my friends, and most of the times, well, here recently, I guess since we haven't had school, we've been spending mostly our whole days out together, and there's always something in the back of your head, you know, wondering what if somebody just comes up behind me and, you know, takes me or threatens us, it holds us against our, holds us against our will. And, you know, I guess me being a guy, we don't really plan as for something to happen like the girls do. But still, I think it is something that we should take into consideration.
I feel like for me, what's kind of gets me personally about being in Houston is just the driving. It's just, I feel like it's so dangerous driving here.
Yes, it is, unfortunately.
And there's like no other, like you are going to encounter the freeway at some point.
Yes. We got to have some safety precautions for everybody, given the environment out there. So I think that's very important. So I am definitely getting a lot out of this special edition, and I hope that all of you out there in the audience are listening to our young people's opinions, because their opinions matter. They are our future, as I said earlier. So we're going to take a quick break and hear from our sponsors. Welcome back to Viva Magazine Live, and we're interviewing some young folks, and we want their opinion on what's going on in the world. And we're getting right back into it. And one of the questions I wanted to ask you as well, right before we went on break, was what about peer pressure?
I see it quite often. I do go to a few parties here and there. And usually I'll see it happen within the friend group, not really with like strangers. One time we were at a party and my friend was actually, one of her other friends was kind of pushing her to keep on drinking, and I'm kind of like the mom of the group, so I was telling her like, no,
Right.
like you no.
Right.
And
there always has to be an adult in,
Yeah.
in the group, right?
Yeah. And I mean, she just wouldn't stop pushing. So I kind of took her to the side and told her, like, enough is enough. People don't think it happens, but it happens a lot.
Yeah.
It really does. So,
And then to be like some of those folks,
Oh,
if
yeah.
they don't have a friend like you, go along with it, and then they get into trouble.
There's a lot of different examples of
Yeah.
peer pressuring within the college setting, whether it comes with sex, drugs, drinking. You're always going to see it, and it's really sad thing to see.
Right.
It's very important for you to stand your ground and to surround yourself with people who are going to support you and take care of you.
Tell me an incident where you saw that happen.
Yeah, it actually happened to one of my brothers that I who went to college before. He got so inebriated that his friends left him in San Antonio, and he had to figure out how to get back to Lubbock.
Xavier?
Me personally, I do have a take on peer pressure because, you know, I'm still in the high school setting and I have friends that are drinkers. I have friends, one big thing now is vaping. I have a bunch of friends that vape. I have a bunch of friends that, you know, they want to skip school because I don't feel like going to class.
Right.
And
And they
you
want
know,
everybody else to do it too.
Right.
Tell me, Sophia, what is your thoughts on that?
Personally, I definitely saw peer pressure at work and like college, definitely.
Right.
And it could even just be like you have like a test to do and like everyone's going out and they're really trying to get you to come, and it's just like, I really got to focus on
Right.
this, like it's due, and
Taking you away from your studying and
yeah,
so that you can be with them.
exactly. So it could be like they don't see any harm in that because they're just trying to ask you, but it's like the person that has to deal with the decision making is more.
That's right.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, very good, because I think that, you know, parents want to do and they want to raise you well, and they want you to make the right decision. So what they're telling you is probably something that they experienced in the past. Well, I was raised by my grandmother, and she gave me some really good advice. And, you know, after you become a certain age, you really realize that your mother and your father were only giving you good consejos. Yeah, it's really important to follow your heart, like Xavier said, and do what's right and what your parents taught you. One other question I got to get in before we close the show. How important it is to you to get out the Latino stories and preserve our heritage, our Latino heritage, and carry our Latino culture forward?
It's very important. Unfortunately, I don't really know Spanish. My parents really...
A lot of kids y'all's age don't.
And it's harder for me to learn it now versus when I'm younger, where I can just pick it up really quick. But I really do, I regret it all the time.
You do want to preserve your Latino culture.
Oh yeah.
And you want to know where you know, keep that culture alive. Because, I mean, if we don't keep it alive, who's going to keep it alive? And if we don't teach our
Right.
kids to keep it alive, you know, especially our traditions that are so important to us, Cinco de Mayo, this de Septiembre.
So it's important that we get our own stories out there and take our own control of our stories as well.
Control the narrative of
Yes.
our culture.
Yes.
Correct. Yeah.
I hope we all practice our own traditions, especially cooking. We need to keep that alive.
Tamales and
Yes.
buñuelos and all
I
that
keep
kind of
seeing
thing.
these videos online of like the young tias. We don't know how to do this. We don't know how to cook
Yes.
the tamales. Oh, what's gonna happen in a couple years?
Yes, we want to keep those tamales alive for
Yeah.
sure.
I do.
For sure. What about you, Xavier?
I also think we should carry on, you know, our family's traditions, you know,
Yeah.
our ancestors and what they did, and that just shouldn't go over people's heads. You know,
Yeah.
they might have done something significant in our past, and I think our future generations and our current generations deserve to know about that.
Yeah. Tell me about you.
I was raised by like my mom's family,
Yes.
and like I just feel like representation and kind of like passing down
Yeah.
stories that they've been telling me.
And so what about our traditions do you love the best?
The food, definitely.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, that was when I studied abroad for college, so when I came back, I was like, immediately, we need to have every food that I love
Yes.
presented to me.
So now that we're talking about food, I've got to ask you all this question. What do you like about menudo? Do you like menudo? You know what menudo is, right? And I know some of you go, ugh. Other people, yeah. You know, so.
I had the chance, I think last year, maybe a couple years ago, where I was able to go to my aunt's house and I got to see them make menudo and like from scratch
Yes.
to see get the guts and everything. It was so weird
I don't
to
know
look
if it
at.
had guts in it, but anyway.
Like the intestines, I don't know, the meat. It was so weird looking, but
I know this might seem shocking to all of y'all, but I just tried it for the first time this Thanksgiving, and I did like it, and
It's different, isn't it?
it is different.
All right, so what about you? You think you,
Oh, y'all are gonna hate my answer.
tell us about it.
I don't.
You
really
don't like it?
No, I know.
But tell me you do like tamales, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Yes,
that's
yes.
your pass. Okay. The reason why I asked that question is because menudo is like a it's a specialty type soup, or you would call it, because it is soupy. So it's really a specialty. Not everybody likes it. It's just quite different. Let me ask you this. How important is public opinion to you? And do you think it will matter when you consider your career or justice and things like politics?
I think as someone who's majoring in creative media industries, it definitely matters to me. Professionally, yes, I need to be more aware of what I post. I wouldn't want someone that I hope to work for see something inappropriate or
Right.
just something that shouldn't be on the media. I also want my own personal public opinion to be known because I want to stand for what I believe
and
in.
be respected.
Yes.
Of course. Yes, very good. Yeah.
It's better to be a leader than a follower for sure. But no, definitely do what I want to do. That's like my biggest thing is
Yeah.
I don't care what other people think. I want to do what I want to do. I don't like being told what to do.
Oh, yeah, very
So-
independent. I get you.
Yeah.
Yes, very good.
I think it's very important to be yourself and express how you feel.
That's right.
Don't feel ashamed to say what's on your mind.
That's right.
You know?
I agree with you 100%. Yes. Hey, Xavier?
And like Joe was saying about your social footprint, like if you want to, for example, if I want to go play baseball somewhere, but a couple years back I posted bad about that college or about that team, and they
Yeah.
see that, that's something that could affect my scholarship that I could potentially have for that
That's
school.
right.
Or anything else I want to do, if it goes to my job and
Right.
just my career, it'll follow
Right.
me.
Jobs that you apply for, do look at your social media posts, and they do look at that and see where you're at with that and see what kind of odd things that you have posted. Yeah, so you really have to look at that post before you post.
Yeah, definitely as someone who majored in film, the public opinion definitely has a strong sway over the film industry.
Right.
So I definitely will have to consider public opinion
Right.
in a professional career.
That's very good. So we're near the close of our show, so I just want to cut real quick to hear a word from our sponsors, and then we'll be right back. So, one more question before we close out the show, and that is, do you have any burning advice or a burning statement that you want to say to the viewers of Viva Magazine Live?
If you're in a situation and you're 50-50 about what you should do, trust your gut, because more times than the rest, whatever you believe in is going to be correct.
You're right, absolutely correct. Anybody else want to say one last thing?
Never let anyone bring you down or judge you for anything that you do. Always do what your gut says and be yourself.
Right. Joelle, you got something?
Don't be afraid to use your voice. It's important for our community to keep our voices up and push each other to do our best.
Sophia?
Stay truthful to your truth.
So there you have it, audience and viewers of Viva Magazine Live. You have young people our future leaders of tomorrow, and they will show the different talents and contributions that they're making to our Latino community and the world. Tune in for next episode on Viva Magazine Live. Hasta luego, Houston.